Thank you everyone so much for joining today. Before we get started, we're going to give everybody a minute or two to join, but would love to hear down in the chat where you are calling in from. Hello to Alfredo. Let's see, Mary. I see we've got a couple people in the waiting room. So I'd love to hear where where you're watching from today. And just note for these webinars, you can see me, but I can't see you. So the more you interact and go ahead and drop questions in the chat, that can help me customize things a bit today, which would be really great. So I can get some of the questions that you're looking to be answered. But again, we're going to give it another minute or two and just give everybody an opportunity to join here. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm trying to think where else we're at right now, but so yeah, go ahead and drop questions in the chat there. Nathan, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. And as we go through this call, just feel free to go ahead and drop in questions. And then what I'll do is I'll answer them live or even post. I can go ahead and answer some of those questions. But the goal of our time here is to tell you just a little bit more about myDevices, what we're doing, how we're deploying and assisting businesses in deploying IoT solutions, and giving you a peek into where we fit into this IoT space. So I think that's enough time to get started here. So why don't we go? Yep, that's all right. So, but quick introduction to myself. Oh, hey Cam, how's it going? You're perfect on timing. Or can you not hear me? I can't hear you. But I was just doing intros. Hey Cam, how's it going?
Hey, how are you, Alex?
Good. Quick introduction to myself. My name is Alex. I'm an account executive here at myDevices. I came to myDevices through the wireless space. And that was really when I was the most interested in learning more and just realizing that there were so many endless opportunities in IoT. Cameron here is our VP of sales here at myDevices. I will let you introduce yourself.
Sure. Hey, everybody, I'm Cameron. I'm VP of sales for myDevices, been at the company around 8 years now, part of the founding team early on. So, we love jumping on these webinars quickly and just kind of explaining what's new and repeating some of what we said before, but just kind of making sure everybody gets an opportunity to learn more about who we are, what we do, and how our technology is really accelerating IoT deployments. So that's what we've been working on for the better part of a decade, and got some cool, I think, stories and successes to share with you guys today. And please feel free to load the chat up with questions. This is unscripted, as I like to say. So we're going to just go through our normal storytelling and everything, but if you guys have questions and you throw them in the chat, it'll drive this webinar towards your interests rather than just us listening to ourselves talk. So feel free to throw in the questions into the chat and we'll get them answered live, and maybe open up some discussion around some things that you guys are interested in. So but thanks, Alex, for intro.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and share my screen and we can rip into a little bit more about what myDevices offers here. Can you see my screen yet, Cam? You can let me know.
It's loading. There it is.
All right. This is our website, our new website. Really very much for where the story starts for us. Our goal as a business has always been to simplify the process of deploying sensors. And for the better part of that is quite a difficult process. I think we realized very early on that there's a big barrier to entry when it comes to this, whether it is finding hardware from hundreds of different manufacturers, doing the vetting process, getting that hardware to do what you want it to do, managing dashboards so that you can see the data off of all the hardware that you get, managing the storing and logistics, even integrations so that you can send that data elsewhere. It's there's all these moving parts in IoT, and our goal was to simplify that. And so that we can enable a lot of enterprise companies to be able to take this to market seamlessly within their own clients base. And that's what we do for companies like T-Mobile, Airmark, Sodexo, Safety Culture. We're providing access to thousands of pieces of hardware to support their use cases, and then in addition, we provide them white labeled software so they can show that data, or integrations to send that data within their own systems. So essentially expediting the IoT process. A lot of the businesses and partners we meet with have been in that R&D phase for what I feel like I hear 6 months all the way up to 5 years sometimes. Cam probably heard longer because you've been around much longer than me. But with us, our goal is to take a project to market within 30 to 45 days, where we're providing you the integrations, the support, the hardware, the consulting on devices, really everything that's needed. If there's anything else that I'm missing, Cam, jump in, but I think I'm covering most of it. The place where the story starts for us is our store. And that's our online catalog, where we've got close to 1,200 devices here that we've aggregated all into one place. There's temperature monitoring solutions, there's electric submetering solutions, water leak detection devices, predictive maintenance sensors, Modbus sensors. It's an endless list of devices that we've aggregated from we're close to 400 different manufacturers onto one single pane of glass for you. So now, when you come to us, we warehouse these sensors in our own warehouses. We have a warehouse in Burbank, California, where Cameron is. We have an additional office and warehouse in Paris. And so we warehouse these sensors. And a big part of what we do as well is adding device logic into these sensors so that they become plug and play ready when they arrive on site to you and your customers. So we understand the provisioning, we understand the programming methods of all these devices, and we've consolidated this all within our software so that these become plug and play ready when they arrive out to you or when they arrive out to your clients. So you're going to think of us as one vendor where you can get access to hardware, access to software to see this data, in addition, access to integrations, and then additional value-added services like deployment assistance, but really everything that's needed to go to market with an IoT project. All the sensors that we provide speak back to software that we provide for you. We allow you to white label it. So we build it in your logo, would go here. It would go all in your own colors. It sits on your own domain. You can access anywhere that's internet. So smartphone, computer, tablet. And it's a really robust system where you can click in and see different dashboards and see, where your sensors are operating by location. You can look at tracking assets, monitoring temperatures, looking at occupancy levels, even vibration monitoring for predictive maintenance and detecting anomalies in your own systems, water usage and electric submetering. There's so many ways that we can do this. Then in addition, you can utilize our alerts engine so that, when these sensors gets readings that they're out of, either above or, below different thresholds as you set them, you can add different rules for your alerts and how they go out. You can say, hey, maybe we don't want to be alerted at night because no one's at the property, or maybe we only want to be alerted when a sensor gets, 2 or 3 readings that we know something's really wrong. So that goes out, and then immediately we can add recipients to get text messages and emails on these alerts. You can create custom workflows so that, whoever's on the opposite end, seeing these, getting this data, now they can see guidances on what the next steps are to do when something's out of threshold, give you different corrective actions and guidances, or automated, incident reports into your own system. So really the goal is to completely simplify this process. And that's really just one of the ways, really just one, or maybe 2 of the ways that you could go to market, I should say. Another way is, once you've got these sensors up and running, you may want the data to go elsewhere. So you may want it to go into a work ticketing system. You may want it to go into a building management system. And so you can easily do that in the app using all the integrations capabilities. We've got integrations into any third-party app or platform like Azure, Google Cloud, or even custom integrations through REST APIs and custom webhooks. The key part about our integrations is that we provide you with a single universal integration that makes any app or platform compatible with thousands of sensors. So instead of you having to integrate every sensor individually with the platform, you can just integrate with our set of APIs, and now that platform would be instantly compatible with thousands of devices. So, we've got that app that I showed you, so you can visualize the data, but at the end of the day, it's our APIs into your system where that data is eventually going to end up. And we're doing that all through custom webhooks, REST APIs. That there's multiple ways to get the data where we need it to go on your side, so that we can enable all of this within your own applications. Some of the companies we do that with are, let's see, this one's a good one, or at least my favorite one, but Safety Culture. They are a company based in Australia, and they have this app called iAuditor. It's their own proprietary software, and it's a concept of inspection checklist. And so a lot of their clients reach out to them because they wanted to start deploying sensors to automate the inspection checklist, so they wouldn't have to go out and start, manually checking things every time. So we actually empower this entire strategy for them. Their customers can now go into iAuditor, and so they'll purchase sensors directly from iAuditor. it's fulfilled, it's shipped, it's configured, everything's going and done by us, but then going directly out to their customer. And now when they scan in that QR code into the app, it's instantly going to connect to the inspection checklist and start to populate data. Another company we work with is Aramark, and for their use case was a little different, but is this big enough? Maybe I can make this bigger. Yeah, okay. So their goal was to look into smart restrooms. They wanted to look into people counting so that they can optimize maintenance requests. And so we'd say, okay, let's put a sensor in on the restroom and you know, an occupancy sensor in that tells us how long people are actually spending in those restrooms. Or let's put a sensor on the door, track the ins and outs if the restroom has a door, and let's take that data now and see. And we could say, hey, we've been sending people out to clean every, two hours when we really only need to be sending them in out, maybe every 6 hours. But again, this entire app that they've developed is empowered by our APIs underneath. We do the fulfillment, we do the enablement. We actually train their salespeople for Aramark directly. So very much a full solution where we're providing the end-to-end support for them. All of those front ends that we provide to you, in addition, speak back to our back end. So we provide you with a back end console so you can manage your customers. You can do your firmware updates. You can do bulk provisioning, bulk deployments as well. I'm not sharing it. Sorry. But you can do that all through the back end. So that's where you can manage your customers, your devices, all your technology. And then in addition, all of that communicates directly from the hardware portion, right? So everything is being sent out through our warehouses directly to you. We manage the storing, we manage the logistics of the hardware. We procure, we pack, we ship the hardware to you, or we can ship it directly to your customers. We're managing the warranties, we're managing the RMAs, and we're dealing with the manufacturers so that you're not really having to deal with the back and forth of that. And then there's probably the most important part is the enablement, because, I think we realized as well early on that we could easily just pass out sensors and hope everything goes well, but it usually doesn't. So I think the enablement portion is very important. So, providing services and training to make you successful. So it starts with a kickoff call with our team where we start to understand what projects you're working on. And so we bring in our sensor experts who work for myDevices and have been in this industry, and they're leveraging their experience to consult on which sensors would be the best for your use cases, taking your project requirements and saying, hey, this is going to be the best fit device. Let's look at the property. This is where we're going to place the gateways on site for the best connectivity. So they consult on that entire process, and then they put together solutions. We put together custom dashboards. We do all of that ahead of time to really make sure you're in the best position to offer this to your customers. And then in addition, we train you on the app, we train you on our backend console so you can use those to be successful. And then we have professional services. So do you need help with an installation? Do you need boots on the ground to physically go out and install the sensors? We've got technical support for whether it be hardware troubleshooting and getting the data routed into your customers' platforms and all of that. So we're assisting with the hardware, the software, the connectivity, and all the services that are essentially needed to make an IoT business successful, really just the full enablement. And streamlining that process for you. So now you have the software where you can white label the integrations to get the data routed where you need it to go, connectivity through a private LoRa network server, and then hardware, the most important part, that's plug and play ready from over 300 different manufacturers. So everything essentially, again, that you need to go to market. But I'll pause there. Cam, am I missing anything? I feel like I am.
No, I think you've done a pretty good job. Yeah. So at the end of the day, guys, it's really just, all the tools needed so that you can go with confidence into whatever project you have. And a lot of times, as Alex described, it could just be a point solution. A lot of times it can be about enhancing internal operations within your business, doing things better, more efficient so that you can provide better service to your customers. I think a lot of people sometimes look at this as a one-to-one kind of reseller opportunity where it's like, okay, if I take this sensor and I can sell it for this much, I can make a margin. But the reality is it's not really like, if you look at those logos there, who are the most successful companies, with this type of technology, these types of deployments, the majority of what they're doing is using this as a tool. Just like if you start a business and you need a CRM system, you go get Salesforce and you're able to now manage your sales cycle and see funnels, and that helps you sell more. There's other tools like that, tons of software tools, things like Dialpad to make your phone calls easier and to get, artificial intelligence and transcripts on your calls. And that helps your business perform better. Think of this as just another tool to enhance your business by being able to have this catalog of sensors to, in error mark situation, optimize their cleaning schedules, do demand-driven cleaning instead of reactive cleaning. Well, now they're saving money on their work hours, and they're able to provide better service to their customers, prove that service, validate that service is being provided, and bring cost savings to their customers. So now their business is better overall. So I think that's something that I've seen kind of evolve over time. Is this isn't a case where it's like, okay, bathroom cleaning, do you want to buy bathroom cleaning for this much? Not quite that way. It's, we provide bathroom cleaning services, we're going to use these sensors to make our service better, so we're better than our competition, because that's where the industry is going anyways. And you see it with AI as well, right? AI isn't something like, if you look at chat, I think I've mentioned this in another call, but chat GPT, but not only that, but all these other AI platforms that are out there. It's not a matter of how do I take chat GPT and sell that to my customers. It's no, how can I use chat GPT to make my service better for my customers so that I can drive more revenue or have a better product, right? So that's really, when you look at like our APIs and the number of sensors that we have, and how quickly and easily we make it, how quick and easy we make it for you to deploy these solutions, that's what it comes down to. So, I think a lot of times, I challenge anybody that, watching this or seeing this, to think of IoT from that standpoint, because I think that's, it's as close to a fact as it can be that sensors will be deployed in the millions and the billions, in the future. We don't know if that's 3 years from now, 10 years from now, or whatever, but sensors will be a part of everyday life the same way AI will be a part of everyday life. So this technology that we've created allows you to play in the IoT space with ease, the same way ChatGPT makes it easy to play in the AI space, right? So like there's similar kind of comparisons. So the challenge would be, can you guys think of ways that IoT and sensors can not just be another widget to sell, but really enhance your business in multiple different ways so that you can provide better service, and really so that you can keep up, because the industry is going there anyway. So, being a part of that is critical. I'm going to steal your screen. Actually, I think you need to stop sharing, and then I'm going to share something, that's a little bit new that we're doing that I think will be helpful for everybody to kind of see. Oh, not that. Let's see. Where's my resume? There we go. Okay, so this is our solutions deck here. And there's some top selling solutions and subject matter experts that we're bringing forward into our organization. So in terms of a partnership, another thing that you get access to is our experience and what's being deployed and what's working. The top solutions we're seeing: panic buttons in hotels where there's a mandate for 20,000 hotels, temperature monitoring in food and vaccines and pharmaceuticals, energy monitoring, predictive maintenance, vape detection. That's one that we've seen a ton of interest in, especially as we get into summertime. K through 12 schools are looking at putting vape sensors in the bathrooms. It's a huge thing. Cleaning optimization in bathrooms, GPS tracking, structure monitoring, people counting. So we've got kind of these canned solution templates here, as well as battle cards that show you who to target, what email to use, what contact to target, how to qualify these certain opportunities within that organization, so you can scope out the opportunity, and then subject matter experts from our team that are able to run even demos and trainings for you guys. But yeah, these are just some of the solutions, and I'll just kind of rip through here so you can see, energy monitoring, vape detection, that's the vape sensor that we've brought on board, GPS tracking and temperature monitoring of cold chain assets, structural monitoring. So, our catalog of sensors is so vast, we're able to just solutionize those pretty quickly. And then depending on, what industry you're in, what your day-to-day looks like, we find those kind of point solutions for you that you can embed into your business to, like I said, improve efficiency and add value into your business. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents, I guess, for today in terms of, who we are, what we do, and, just elaborating on, more of what Alex said. But, she kind of went over the tools that enable everything. And then at the end of that is the actual solution that you're able to take to market. So, yeah, do we have, you guys feel free to, again, questions, if you've got any, we've put out a lot of information, so just let us know, your thoughts, your feedback, and yeah, engage.
Yeah, Cam, can you maybe preview a little bit of our back end?
Sure.
I think that might be helpful as well, because that's some of, there's so much that you could see on our website, but our back end is not one of those things. It's exclusive to our partners. But there's so much that can be managed directly from our back end, and I definitely want to make sure we get a chance to show a bit of it.
Yeah, sure thing. So this would be our backend console. This drop down here will just show you, when you get a white label or you license our platform, you get a containerized realm. So you get your own container of our application that's private to you. And within that, you'll have this administrative access where you can see all of your deployments, all of your users, really. This is customers, but really it's users. It could be your users, it could be your customers' users. And you can see, Zach Thomas at this Chick-fil-A location and all the different sensors that are in that location with the IDs. You can remote access that account to troubleshoot issues or see what the customer sees. You've got the device registry where you can map IDs to device templates and then to LoRa network servers or cellular network servers, depending on your connectivity for that device. So this is really where we can do some customization in terms of how we parse or how we normalize data, how we visualize data, how we send data through our APIs. It kind of starts at this template level. You'll notice that, I use Modbus as an example. So if anybody's familiar with like RS-485, RS-232 Modbus devices, what's interesting is, you'll see these 3 templates here in this particular realm for the same device. And that's because, when you're pulling data off of RS-485, there's different registers that communicate different things. And it's all dependent on what the actual equipment is that we're monitoring. So if an HVAC has a Modbus output, you can plug this into it and then map the registers with the right data that you want. And then you'll be able to visualize that data on our dashboard. But without having to do any firmware updates on the specific devices, we can just modify our device template, modify the capabilities and the attributes that basically would allow us to basically listen to the correct registers and parse the data into, actual usable data for any Modbus application. So rather than having to go on the firmware of the sensor and say, this is the equipment we're going to plug into, and this is what the registers we need to listen to, and this is how to convert it from Modbus language to human language, we can do that in the cloud. So even after things are deployed, we can still modify things, by just adjusting the device template and how we're parsing the data. So that can all be done through the backend console. So, those of you that see our front end, we've got our free app on the website, or maybe you've seen things on our website like images and things like that of how it works. It's all very, I guess, face value, right? You can turn a sensor on, you can see a dashboard, you can set alerts, you can set reports, all very basic platform things. There's thousands of IoT platforms and they're all basically the same, right? But what the power of ours is how we tie everything together. So this backend console allows you to choose any LoRa network server you want, depending on which sensors are deployed. It allows you to choose any cellular network. It allows you to modify the way the data is parsed, add business logic, add equations, right? Things like that into the data so that we can enhance, really what's going on. And there's some other administrative things in the back end, like uploading your logo, changing the colors of your app. There's a show hide feature. So if you don't want your users to be able to add devices or view the integrations or add users, you can just turn off a bunch of the features one at a time within the app. There's integration templates, there's realm-wide integrations, multi-tenant applications. So if you want to create a subdomain of your app, an additional white label basically underneath your app, you can do that as well. There's just so much back here. This really, at the end of the day, what we're providing you with is the platform and the tool needed to make sensors work and get the APIs out. But it's almost like giving you the back. It's like what WordPress did to the internet, right? So not only do we give you the front end with templates and drag and drop builders and thing like suggestions on, hey, you can add this plugin and add this thing and to build this e-commerce store, whatever it is, like how WordPress would do. Also, what WordPress gives you the backend access to customize and write your own scripts and create your own plugins and all of that. So you can use the template ones, or you can create your own. So we're giving you the tool that works out of the box, but we're also exposing the backend so you can develop on top of it on your own without having to like write code or anything. We've built, kind of like the Wix style or WordPress style editor, customization in the backend and just administrative management as well. So that's the comparison I like to use. So Alex, anything else in here that you want me to show or that would be helpful, do you think?
No, that was good. That was great. We have a question. Question is, how can I bring my own devices? If so, how can I add them to your platform?
Yeah, you can bring your own devices. There's just simple instructions. There's a link we can send that just shows, in our docs page, how to point the devices to us, whether it's an HTTP API, MQTT, CoAP, Azure IoT Hub, or coming through, some LoRa network or LoRa gateway. There's just tons of documentation in here on how to point things to us to get the data in. And then you would need, obviously, a license, so you have the backend access. Go into the device registry, and you can upload a new device into the registry. You can do one at a time, or you can do a CSV upload to bulk upload. But basically, you've got your device, send data to us, and then register some ID that associates that device with our app, so that when we add that to the account, we know which device to look for, which template to look for. So, you'll create a template for that device as well, with the image, with the instructions of how to set it up, with the payload decoder and all of that. So without getting too deep into that, there's just basically these steps that you follow that we have instructions for that allow you to associate that device with our backend so that you can use it in our front end.
That's good. Okay, wait, hold on. We have another one. All right. Is it possible to have multiple organizations with multiple logins under our white label platform?
Yeah. Yep. So if I go into the front end of the app, let's see. So I've got, if I go to the list view, we call it, rather than a dashboard, I'm the admin of this account, right? This is a one location, and this is a second location. If I go to the map view, I zoom out, you would see location 1, location 2. If I had 100 locations, you'd see 100 locations with 100 dots. I can click on a specific location. There's no sensors in that one, but if I click on the other one, I'm sure there are sensors in this one. Or maybe I'm wrong. There we go. This one has the sensors. Okay, so there's sensors in this location. You can see them all down here. I can click on one and see the historical data and all of that. Now, let's say I go into my contacts and I want to add Alex as a contact, and I put in her email, whatever. And then I say, I want to give Alex access to both of these locations, and I want to give her edit permissions, right? I can add her as a contact to those locations. I need to fill in the fields. But then when Alex logs in, she would also see these locations, plus any others that she has permission to. So from a organizational standpoint, company-wide level, you might have an admin that has access to 100 locations. You might have a view-only user who's maybe a general manager that only has access to one location. And there's all these different rule sets and things you can set. So that's the hierarchy and user management and kind of how that works.
Okay, good. I think we're close to running out of time. Trying to think, is there anything else we should show before we wrap up for the day?
No, I think well, yeah, hopefully everybody got something out of this, but yeah, I think that kind of is the general dog and pony. So next steps, I guess, would be to just schedule a one-on-one call, and we could talk about your projects and how we can help you move them forward within a week rather than a year, hopefully, is the idea. So yeah, just reach out to us. Yeah, I know, Alex, I think you've got a link, but
Yeah, actually, let me steal your screen real quick, because this is what I want to do over, and I'm like, I keep forgetting. So I think that this is just to understand how our onboarding process works, how we support, how we get these projects up and running so fast. We do everything in a really phased approach. It starts with a kickoff call with our team. And so on that call, we bring in our sensor experts, we bring in our implementation team, our deployment specialists, so we can understand your projects and start building the solution. Usually at the end of that call, we place a small order with you on recommended devices that we think would be good for you to start testing with on site. And then usually around, I feel like 3 to 5 days, we deliver your white label solution to you. And now we start to conduct trainings, have app calls with your team. On our phase 2, once those devices that we ordered have arrived out to you, we do a supervised proof of concept. So we want to set up the sensors with you, or we set them up with one of your more friendly clients. We'll validate the data, make sure it's looking good on your end. set up alerts, add users and locations. There's a lot of tweaks in this phase, a lot of back and forth so that we can really perfect the solution. And then the next phase is, okay, now that this works, how do we scale this? How do we grow this? And so much of this time has been me and Cam talking about, myDevices. But I think that it would be even more helpful if we could speak to you, hear a little bit more about your IoT projects, and speak to what specific devices we can provide and make recommendations on the solution. So we'd love to chat a little bit more. Go to mydevices.com/Alex, and you could chat with me and Cam and get you, introduced to a more catered solution to what you're looking to do, to the industries you're looking to speak to. So mydevices.com/Alex. Thank you everybody so much for your time, for joining us today. We'll be back in, I think, 2 weeks for another one. But thank you so much again, everyone. mydevices.com/Alex. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Have a good day.